Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Huda Tonight. We continue this evening's news segment, beginning with Al-Aqsa Mosque. This is a very important site for Islam, of course, but also for Christians and Jews. There's been a great, over the past 2 weeks, there's been great outpouring of concern expressed, as well as expressions of condemnation over the escalation in security measures at Al-Aqsa in East Jerusalem. We have seen a number of international or multinational Islamic organizations, Muslim-majority governments, and non-governments all chiming in on the importance of resolving the tensions in East Jerusalem at Al-Aqsa compound. We start with the United Nations. There's a Middle East envoy who spoke about this with the press, expressing great concern and actually issuing a warning. This is Mr. Nikolai Mlednov. He said that it was urgent to find a solution before Friday. That's Friday of this week, just a few days from now. This is when the next coming weekly congregational prayers are scheduled to be held. He says, or else there is a threat of, quote, potential catastrophic costs well beyond the walls of the old city, end quote. He said, quote, that the dangers of the on the ground will escalate if we go through another cycle of Friday prayer without a resolution to this current crisis, end quote. Meanwhile, we turn to the Organization for Islamic Cooperation, OIC. They all have already conducted an emergency meeting that was held in Jeddah, and they also issued a warning saying that the subject of Al-Aqsa is a red line for Muslims. The OIC also said that attacking the Al-Aqsa Mosque in any way, under whatever pretext, will have serious consequences and will lead to instability in the region, end quote. OIC foreign ministers also are scheduled to have a meeting in Istanbul early next month. Both the Arab League and the UN Security Council are planning emergency meetings for later this week. The Saudi government, among others, repeated their condemnation of Israel's security measures at Al-Aqsa compound. Meanwhile, the U.S. government dispatched officials to Israel and Jordan to discuss the failed peace process. One of the most inflammatory actions in this most recent round of tensions at Al-Aqsa, this is not something new. For decades under occupation, Al-Aqsa and many other parts of the occupied territories have been under threat, but this is especially important. It has great religious significance in terms of people being able to access and pray in this very historic and spiritually significant center. Yesterday, the Israeli authorities, they decided to remove these metal detectors. This is a very touchy issue, installing metal detectors and security cameras. We've gotten reports that the Israeli government has decided to remove the detectors, or at least partially. There's lots to look forward to in terms of what will happen. We'd like to take a phone call from the United Kingdom. We have a founder of an organization, the Scottish Palestine Solidarity Campaign, Mr. Mick Napier. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Huda Tonight. Okay, the brothers have lost the connection with Mr. Napier. Inshallah, they'll try to reconnect with him. We'd love to hear what he has to say as a founder for this Palestine Solidarity Organization in the UK. In the meantime, we move to the United States for a story dealing very much with the ongoing occupation and the brutality suffered by Palestinian civilians. This is a growing about the BDS movement, this international boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement. There are another series, another round of gains that have been made in this ongoing international movement to end the brutalities of the occupation. This involves Christian organizations in the United States. There's a group of several U.S. churches that have announced their pledge to boycott technology giant Hewlett-Packard, HP, for providing material support to the Israeli occupation authorities and for the subsequent abuses against the Palestinian civilians. The announcement comes as a part of a larger campaign organized by a Palestinian Christian organization. It's called the Friends of Sabil North America, or the FOSNA. Again, this is a Palestinian Christian organization leading this action by more than 15 churches in the United States that are participating, pledging to boycott Hewlett-Packard. The churches are joining a growing list of U.S. church organizations divesting from U.S. companies that have ties with Israeli occupation. These include the United Church of Christ, Unitarian Universalist, Presbyterian Church, Alliance of Baptists, Quaker Friends, and the Mennonite Church. We'd like to talk more about this, but we are now reconnected with the brother in the UK, Mr. Napier. Assalamu alaikum, welcome.
Hi there, thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure to have you with us. I was just talking about the BDS campaign, and this very much is in response to what we're currently witnessing in Al-Aqsa. Brother Mick, could you please talk to us about your organization and what your role is and what your aims and objectives are?
Sure. The BDS campaign is 12 years old, and it starts after the Palestinians won a key case at the International Court of Justice in The Hague, condemning the Israeli apartheid wall and insisting that every affiliated state to the court take practical steps to have the wall removed, and Palestinians pay compensation. So Palestinians won the legal fight. The end result, however, was that Britain and America and other countries continued to send arms to Israel and rewarded it for the crime. So the BDS campaign says to civil society around the world, in the Middle East and Europe and North America, if your governments support the crimes of the State of Israel, then there's no alternative but for civil society to take action. And that has involved trade unions, churches, pension funds, in my own country, Scotland, local authorities who have taken policies, who have adopted policies of complete boycott of the State of Israel. And it's very clear that in Palestine, the Israelis can kill Palestinians very easily. They have the guns, and the Palestinians are largely disarmed. But Israel cannot force dock workers in South Africa or other countries to import Israeli goods. And so the Israelis are deeply concerned about the BDS campaign. There are many high-level strategy meetings to deal with it, and Netanyahu's government has allocated a budget of over 100 million shekels and appointed ministers to fight this campaign worldwide. So we think it's the best way in which people around the world can deliver effective solidarity to the people of Palestine. And it's winning. It's already moving faster. It's never slow enough because the Palestinians are suffering terribly. But it's already moving faster than did the boycott of the white regime in South Africa.
And it's costing the Israeli government billions of dollars. This is why we're seeing the allies in the United States and various European countries criminalize the boycott of Israel and having a pro-Palestinian stance. I'd like to ask you about a little bit of history in terms of Al-Aqsa. What do you expect will happen in the coming days and weeks regarding Al-Aqsa? Some are saying that it's very important to reach a resolution prior to the Goma prayer on Friday.
Well, clearly the Israeli government, Netanyahu, has miscalculated. He thought he could placate his extreme right wing of his party by taking another move against the Palestinians, but he's got more than he bargained for. From internal Palestinian opposition, which has unified the Palestinians to a degree that we haven't seen for a while, Hamas, Fatah, Jihad, and so on, working together, but also it's spread the crisis into Jordan, into Amman, and we've seen effectively an Israeli ally in Amman coming under pressure from its own population. So I think, speaking to an Egyptian audience, I would say the main calculation which the Israeli government makes is how far can they move to crush and to defeat and to dispossess the Palestinians without undermining their allies and their friends in the region. So yes, they are under pressure to reach a deal before Friday, but Netanyahu's caught between a fear of causing problems for his Saudi or Jordanian allies and his right wing, the extremists in his government, who talk in an openly genocidal way about a final solution for the Palestinians.
Yeah.
And only recently, today or yesterday, a senior minister threatened the Palestinians with another Nakba if they did not capitulate. Yeah?
Yeah, we heard about that. Brother Napier, Mr. Napier, we appreciate you very much for being with us. We wish you and your co-workers, your colleagues, success as you continue to support the Palestinian cause. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much. Wa alaikum assalam.